So I would say, if I look at the last 12 to 24 months, it's grown huge. You take a market like Europe or UK, they started e-commerce 10 years ago, and it gradually moved on and on and on. In Southeast Asia in the last 2 years is what's come up, and what's come around is pure play. And pure play, by coming into the market, has disrupted retail, but has also forced retailers to now really start thinking omnichannel, really start, connecting offline and online together. So I feel that, they're the sort of things that are coming through. Challenges around it can be, it's a very mobile-first market. You have multiple issues with that regards to networks and data and connectivity, infrastructure, operations. So it's a very exciting space. So if you look at smartphones itself and technology within smartphones, right? So look at location-based ads. We know 75% of consumers are always on their phone, right? They're on their phone when they're in their toilet. There was a statistic I read that 36% of customers are on their phone while they're sitting on the loo. And so, now with technology and these platform providers like Apple, Google, Amazon, and marketing ad techs are allowing retailers as well as pure play online retailers to start targeting these customers during downtime. So, whether they're sitting or waiting for a taxi ride, whether they're in a conference, a lot of people are searching. They might be searching, who is that speaker? So now they're providing that platform to be able to do that. That's one thing. The second thing is ease of use around how payments has come across. Wallets are starting to come through. People are paying through mobile devices, e-tolls, etc. So, connectivity around mobile and being mobile first is very important. Absolutely not. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. The reason why I'm saying this is, I say this a lot, and when I'm also speaking, a lot of people ask me, I take a company like Tesco. We knew that if a customer bought online and offline, there were 4 times more value to the business than a single customer. Now, I'm not saying pure play is bad, but look what Amazon's doing. They're investing in offline stores. Look what Zalora have done in the Philippines, right? You can do click and collect from 7-Eleven. And there's a reason behind it, because consumers are not always at home. We're actually, as humans, we're now moving a lot more. We're not, because of mobile and everything is with you, digital is with you, there's no need for you to be at home. So people are expecting to go to physical stores. What people, I think, retailers do need to be concerned about is if they don't move with the time, then yes, there is going to be a problem there, because some customers also purely only shop online. So having both, you'll keep your customers sticky. At the same time, you'll be able to provide them a service which is relevant to your customer and not you as a retailer. I think they're looking for a fast, quick, easy way to shop. I mean, Philippines is no different to Malaysia and Thailand and Indonesia, to be totally honest with you. They have the very same infrastructures, very same behaviors. It's not a market like Singapore. So, you've got a lot of traffic. That's number one. So, more retailers are saying, well, we're suffering. People probably don't want to shop. The probably reason they're going online is because they don't have to sit in the traffic. Now, as an offline retailer, what I would really be focusing on is what Pure Play does is they actually ship from a warehouse because they don't have physical stores. Consumers want the product fast, quick, and cheap. If you can get them three things in place, you will win. And the easiest way for retailers that have got a lot of stores is distribute from your store and don't distribute from your warehouse, and you will win. Because if I said to you, I can deliver you your product tomorrow, and you buy off me directly as a brand like Watson's, you buy off me directly. Because the Zara or someone might take 3 or 4 days to submit it. So I think people want the product then, they want it quickly, they want the power of reviews, which is very important. Reviews is becoming more and more important, and people are really searching on the way out. They're engaged with digital, so now they want to be told what to buy. Because it's, I expect you to tell me. I don't want you to, what do I need? I bought this, what should it be? So personalization has become important. but I call it clienteling. Clienteling is booming in the last year or so. A lot of people are starting to move on it. We're definitely moving on it on our mother care brand. So we know if a customer walks in, they've bought a pushchair, we won't sell him a pushchair because we already knew that customer had already sold it. So the salesperson will already know, okay, they bought a pushchair online. When they come in, I'll send them a maxi cozy car seat that goes with that pushchair. So it saves time, makes the customer feel, valued. Yes, I think bricks and mortars is always going to be there. If people are worried it's not, I can only talk about Panama. We're all profitable. We're fantastically doing really well. We're growing year on year. We're expanding and opening more and more stores. But at the same time, we're putting the same amount of energy in our technology. Just to put into perspective, we're investing heavily on e-commerce. We've recently bought a unified database. So a lot of people say to me, well, what do you mean by unified database? And I'm saying, well, at the moment, you've got a stores business and you've got all your customer information sitting there in one database. Then you've got a separate business, which is e-commerce. This is very typical. And you've got a database sitting there. Them two don't even talk to each other. So you're talking to the same customer in two different ways, number one. Number two, when you're buying or you're merchandising, if you're a merch background, you're only buying for stores, and then whatever's left over you give to e-commerce. Or the common one is whatever my flagship store sells, that's what I'll put online, right? You're allocating in a way that, okay, I'll put it in the warehouse and then I'll just leave a reserve. You can't do that. You need to invest in single view of all of your inventory, single view of all of your customers, so then when you're speaking to them and you're selling to them, you've got all of the range available. Number two, as malls get bigger, space becomes smaller, brands become larger, stores are shrinking, because the smart retailers have realized that actually in a particular store, I don't need to put my whole range there. I'll put the range that sells really well in that store, and I'll broaden my range online. So by creating a wider range online, gives the customer the ability to go into the store and say, oh, I want this in a different color. Sorry, we don't have it. You can buy it online. So I just feel it might get a bit smaller. And you started to see boutique stores opening up and popping up, and that's what they're doing really well. Argos is a great case study. I'm waiting for someone in Southeast Asia to do it, but I'm not going to name a few brands. I've been quite impressed. I've seen a few small SMEs who've done it, who provide a product. They have 20 colors, but they don't want a big showroom, so they're like, you can see the product here. If you want this color, I've got it, but I've got 10 other ones that will come to you tomorrow to your doorstep. So they're using the touch and feel there. You meet every type. Every type. You meet the person who's just coming to have a look and just want to understand what's going on and is not after something special, no specialism in mind. And then you have very experienced individuals, like I said, who have a very particular question that they need to answer, and they just can't find the answer to that question, and it's not always available on Google. So they come to conferences like this. I think the roundtable that I just did, I'm doing both. I'm doing a keynote panel tomorrow morning, which is going to be very broad. And I was speaking to one of the audiences and they said, I like keynote panels and I know you're speaking tomorrow and it's going to be very interesting. But I know what you're going to say there. You're going to have 20 minutes and you're not going to give away nothing. So we sat on a round table for 45 minutes and it's very personal. It's like this. We're talking one-to-one, we're having a conversation, you're comfortable, I'm comfortable, and you're willing to answer and share knowledge. So I think the dynamics is good. And you get very different-minded people. I think the thing you've got to be careful about is, I talked about some very advanced stuff, but you could also be very basic, because the knowledge base for every individual is different, and that's what I think Seamless is bringing in. It's trying to say that we're not only going after experts, we're also going after people that are just genuinely want to enter the world of digital e-commerce or payment.